Hello, dear viewer. Welcome back to Gruffy Plays Shattered Pixel Dungeon. This is the first run of the day, huh? Yeah, right? No, not at all. This is like the third run I've tried. With the cleric. I thought the cleric was easy, and I can't get this motherfucker out of the basement. So we are going to just throw ourselves at a brick wall until we get it. I'm a book-bearing motherfucker today. Don't say the F-bomb so close to the beginning of your video, Robert. That's how you get demonetized. Yeah, so I just threw myself at a brick wall for a good long while, and now I decided I was just not going to post. I was not going to post that. I'm not going to make the first half hour of my video be you watching me struggle to get a run off the ground. You know, you want to watch long runs. If you don't want to watch long runs and you want to watch me struggle to get a run off the ground, leave a comment and I will certainly post it. Even though I don't think you want to see that, because it's me just getting frustrated. You can hear it in my voice. I'm frustrated. I'm heated. I had to take a break, go eat some chewy ass meat, and then come back hydrated, full of food, full of sandwiches, and ready to play. I had a pretty good run going with a great shield that I wasn't able to use yet. If I was using a great shield, I wouldn't have lost. Because it's that good. But I had a great shield, and I wasn't able to use it yet, and I died to the goop because I pressed space instead of, you know, moving. I waited instead of moving. You should have waited! And I didn't. And now, here we are. Here we are on the third run of the day. The second and fourth run of the day. The second and third run are of no consequence. I didn't get past the sewers, as you will see by the location of the gravestone. Whatever, man. You know, we live and we let learn. Why am I complaining to you about a run you didn't even see? Let me know if you do want to see those, though. I'll post them. You're just gonna have to let me know. Also, let me know anything, you know? Let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, you know? Do you like my ramblings? Would you like me to edit down my videos? I'm not going to. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to edit down my videos, because that's a lot of work. And I don't feel like doing that. But, you know, we are just chilling with this run so far. The cleric is supposed to be the strongest character in the game, but it's more like a wrap-up. Like, he's weak in the beginning, I reckon, but once you get him past a certain level, he is really good. Like, once you get past Tengu, his skill can kind of carry him, I reckon. I reckon that's right. But for now, we're just gonna struggle a little bit and try and get past the sewers, okay? Okay. I'm making some tomato sauce right now. It's gonna be a while before that's done. It is certainly taking its time, but that's because I'm also not rushing it. I'm not putting the heat up too high. I'm just letting it simmer all after. I ain't much got anything else going on today. I was gonna possibly go to the gym, but I decided against it. A little tired. I woke up this morning due to some explosive brain syndrome. Explosive head syndrome. You know what that is? That's a real thing I learned about that I have. I didn't know I had it. I just thought, you know, sometimes I hear big bangs and I don't know how to explain them. But it's when your brain creates a sound within its own walls, within its own back walls. Shocking hand axe. Yeah, I'll grab that. That I guess it is a giant. Why isn't that free? Why isn't that hurting you? Why isn't this smoke hurting you? Where'd you go? Oh, you're up there. It creates a big bang in your head because of it's mostly because of latent tinnitus. I think that's what I read. I think, therefore I am. Where'd my boy go? Yeah. For the longest time, I thought, wow, that was a loud noise. Where did that come from? I have no idea. Oh, well, I guess we're just gonna have to ignore that now, because I'm scared. I think a nuclear bomb just went off, but it was nothing, apparently. Nobody else heard it, so I just thought I was going crazy, but it's actually a fucking medical condition that I have. Oh, yeah. Or maybe they really are, and everyone's just trying to make me feel like I'm crazy. Maybe there really are big bangs going on all the time. But when I was in high school, it used to happen to me a lot, and around that time, I was real paranoid about nuclear war for some reason. Even though there was no such, like, luck. No such... Well, I'm gonna get real with you, viewer. I wanted a nuclear war to happen. Because I wasn't doing well in school. I didn't really have a future. And I was like, well, if nuclear war happens, I'll just survive in the wasteland. It'll be like Fallout. That was my brain. I was like, it'll be exactly like Fallout. I'll be fine. I'll survive. And I'll actually do better than I am now in nuclear wasteland. Yeah, that's some bullshit, Robert. You would die in a fucking heartbeat. Maybe not now, because I'm prepared, but that's for other things. But I wanted to be shirked of my responsibilities, and that was my kind of way out, is a nuclear war. And it never happened. So I would hear these big bangs, these brain explosions, and I would think that nuclear war had started, and I'd be like, oh shit, here it comes. Because I lived not too far from New York City, so like, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for me to hear it from my house. You know what I mean? Like, I could hear a nuclear blast come from that far. And it wouldn't kill me immediately. I'd be kind of screwed anyway, because I'd be on Long Island, which is, you know, a place where you can't really leave without going through the now nuclear hole that is New York City. Oh, we're kind of fucked right now. Alright, time to game. We're gonna throw a stone of fear at you, just because I don't need you fucking with me. I can take it on him right now. I don't think I can fuck with both of you. Psych, I'm dead. Psych, I have 14. You're good. We're good. I was saying so it wouldn't be beyond the reasonable doubt for me to hear a nuclear blast. So, like, that was just my mindset. I would always hear... Not always. It happens maybe once every 2 months. It's not a very common thing. You might have it, too, because if you have tinnitus, like, if you use headphones a lot or you shoot guns, you have a chance of getting it. And it does kind of suck. But now, once you figure out what it is, once you figure out what the brain explosions are, it doesn't bother you anymore, because you're like, you don't get scared by it. You're just like, oh, that's just a brain explosion. I'm good. I'm not gonna die. Yeah. Now, but there is a bad thing about that, where if a nuclear war does happen, I'm not gonna know or notice until it's probably a little too late, because I'm gonna think it's just a brain explosion. You know, you're a smart kid. Let me know what there is to know about brain explosions, because I figured this out recently, and I hadn't thought about it until last night when it happened to me again. That I was like, oh yeah, no, that's the thing that happens to me now. And when do you drop a health potion? Well, this run is over, unless this is a life-saving thing. Or, I guess maybe if I eat this, it gives me a little bit of health. Nope, we're dead. There was no real way out of that, folks. Okay. We're just gonna keep going. We're not gonna gripe about it. It's only been, what, 10 minutes? It's been 10 minutes. You can watch 10 minutes of that. You want me to do a little bit of inside baseball here? Let me show you how the sausage is made. That whole brain explosion thing, I already talked about that in my last thing, so maybe you don't want to see the rerun, because you're just going to hear me talk about the same things twice. I didn't go into as much detail. Yeah. Have you ever had that? I mean, when I was a kid, I don't know why. I guess I watched too many. I watched The Walking Dead at too young of an age. Because I was like, that's the future. That's what's going to happen. I'd be so good in that situation. I don't need anything else. And that kind of fucked me up because it made me think that the future wasn't real. That the future was just walking around the woods and surviving. But that's not what the future is. The future is taxes. The end is not. The end is nigh, but it will never come. That is a thing to live by. The end is nigh, and the end will never come. That's how you figure out that. Sorry, just a quick drink. That's how you figure out that you gotta get shit. You gotta get real. You gotta get real and not just waste time, like I did. If you are feeling that way, if you feel like nuclear war might happen, you know, A, talk to somebody about it, because that's definitely a bit of anxiety you got in your life. And B, it's normal, I figure. I figure that's a normal thought. We've been having that thoughts ever since the fucking bombs fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We have all collectively thought, damn, the end might happen at any moment. And yet it hasn't, and yet it won't. And that is because we are governed by good people. In their hearts of hearts, they are good people. Or nuclear bombs don't exist, which is a conspiracy theory that I sometimes kind of give some credence to. I kind of understand that idea. So the whole thing goes that, nuclear bombs don't exist. First kind of point is, what about Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Well, you could say that show the layperson an explosion from a conventional bomb, a conventional multi-fucking pound dynamite bomb, and show them that versus a quote-unquote nuclear bomb. And I don't actually believe this, but it's an interesting thought process where you sorry. So you have this multi-net megaton bomb and very large TNT bomb, a very large bomb, like the ones we were dropping on Japan constantly in World War II. And show the difference between that and a conventional bomb to the layperson, and they will not understand a difference. Generally, they won't be able to pick out the difference between a very large bomb and a big bomb if you just show them the right scale of it. You know what I mean? Up close and far away, all explosions are kind of the same. So, okay, you're saying you can convince somebody on the TV screen maybe that a nuclear bomb is a regular bomb is a nuclear bomb. But what about all the people in Japan who suffered the effects of radiation and all that? And to that, I will say, dear viewer, come on, they were getting firebombed all the goddamn time. If you asked somebody who was getting firebombed all the time, the difference between that and being nuked, they would maybe not know the difference. I reckon. I mean, the shit that we were doing to Tokyo is almost worse than what we did to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Just fire tornadoes. Listen to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History on Japan. And you will be convinced that maybe getting bombed like that is a little better than the other ways. What about the radiation, you say? Well, you can fucking drop radioactive materials across an area. Okay, so what about all the nuclear bombs that were tested in the Cold War? You could say a lot of things about those. You could say that they were, again, just big bombs dropped that were over a longer period of time, so you can get all that scarring across Nevada, and make it look like you did a bunch of testing there. Or just, just not do all that. Just pretend. It's a thought experiment, guys. I'm not, don't call me crazy. I am not crazy. God damn it. What else is there to say about this? I'm sorry. I'm gaming and thinking at the same time right now. What kind of curse we got on this bitch? Explosive. Fun. But, so, what about Russia? Well, they figured out that the bombs were fake, so they started doing the same faking, just so they could not be bullied around on a world scale. They called their bluff, per se, you know what I mean? Oh, you have nuclear bombs? Well, we have nuclear bombs. I like short shirts, you like short shirts. Basically, if you don't believe we went to the moon, which is up for debate, you can be convinced that nuclear bombs don't exist. And the basis of this comes from the idea that nuclear war as we know it is a farce. There are war gamers and people who spend a lot more time on the subject than you or I, who have figured out that nuclear war is feasible. You can win nuclear war and not suffer as bad. Like, mutually assured destruction isn't necessarily real. You can get away with not having it. You can win a nuclear war before, especially now. You can intercept a missile in a heartbeat. Like, America has a sort of iron dome in itself that people don't really talk about for some odd reason. But we have people have war gamed out the idea that nuclear war is not necessarily unfeasible. It is technically possible to win a nuclear war, and that's a scary thought. So why hasn't it happened yet? You know what I mean? Just if some internet asshole figured it out, the military has known that for much, much longer. Why haven't they done it yet? Because it doesn't exist. Now, I also don't necessarily agree with the idea that they haven't done nuclear war. If nuclear war was possible and winnable, why haven't we done it yet? And it's not like our dear leaders are super, nice. They're not the nicest folk. They kind of like war. The idea of wiping your enemy off the map seems very fine. It's because it's kind of the court of public opinion has become super duper super fucking strong, which is a good thing. The court of public opinion being as strong as it is a good thing all in all. It used to not be this way. Government used to be able to get away with a lot more than it does. A lot more than it does now. And they don't and now they don't because you can lose your country, I feel, through a nuclear war. You can lose your people. You can cause mass fucking riots and insurrections if you do that. That's a main reason, I think. Also, I think it's cooler heads tend to prevail. The closest we ever came to nuclear war was the Cuban Missile Crisis, which, if you don't know about the Cuban Missile Crisis, it is the fucking most fascinating piece of history in this little schmuck's opinion. I find the Cuban Missile Crisis to be unbelievably interesting. But the cooler heads prevailed. Bobby Kennedy and JFK said, I don't think we should bomb this country until it's nuclear rubble. We should, until it's rubble. I don't think we should bomb Cuba just for having, I don't think we should strike first. I think there's a better way around this. And because of this, we avoided nuclear war. I mean, fucking Russia had nuclear capable submarines off the coast of fucking the United States, ready to fire. There's a very good story in this about a nuclear sub where you needed all 3 guys to sign off on bombing, and they were about to say, okay, we have clear enough cause. We think that the war has already started, and they were so far under the ocean that they lost communication with the motherland, so they thought they heard bombs going off above them in the water. They thought the depth charge went off or something along those lines that made them think that nuclear war had started. And they didn't have any communication, so they could only go based off of their information at the time. And their information at the time was oh, god damn it. Their information at the time is we hear explosions from above and we think the war has started. So we can fire off our missiles now. The captain said, yes, let's do it. The arms commander said, yes, let's do it. And I think the logistics commander said, no. He said, we are going to... I don't think the war started. And that motherfucker was right. It was 2-1. You needed a unanimous agreement in order to do it. And that guy said, I don't think it started yet, guys. Let's calm down here. And he was right. He was right, and he saved the world, technically. There's a great little Vine Sauce short about this. If you just look up closest we came to war, that will be closest we came to nuclear war, that will be like the thing. What shows up. And the motherfucker was like dragged through the streets for it. Like, he wasn't hailed as a hero. He was seen as a coward for disobeying his fellow commanders. The motherfucker literally saved 1 billion Russian lives at that moment. A billion US lives and 1 billion Russian lives, and in a single stroke. That's how close we came to nuclear war in the Cuban Missile Crisis. And because JFK said, I need to talk to Khrushchev, I need to talk to Nikita, I don't think we should be this close to war right now. And they talked, and they figured it out, and Nikita kind of folded a little bit. It was his plan to put the missiles in Cuba. He decided that he wanted to have the same strategic position that the United States had on Russia, where we had missiles in Turkey, we had missiles in the UK, we had missiles in places that could easily wipe out Russia in a stroke, in a flash. So Nikita said, okay, you want to have missiles there, we want to have missiles here, so we're going to sneakily put missiles in Cuba, which is as close to the US to the Russia as Cuba is to the US. I mean, but not you know. Logistically speaking, like it'd be much harder to shoot down a missile from Cuba than it would be to shoot down a missile from Turkey, but still shooting down a missile from Turkey is much harder than shooting down a missile that comes from the US. So like it's as far as we're saying, it would be evening the playing field in Nikita Khrushchev's mind. So that he wasn't. So it was his idea to do the Cuban Missile Crisis, and we happened. I mean, if you really think about it, it's a bad plan because it's so close to the U.S. that we're gonna notice you're doing it, and we were already having problems with Cuba. We were already spying on Cuba constantly. You know what I mean? Like if we had just done the Pay a Big's Invasion a year or two before, so we already knew that Cuba was a problem, and we didn't have our hands on the wheel per se. We were losing track of the situation. We weren't in control like we wanted to be of the Cuba situation. Which is, you know, we didn't deserve to be in control of Cuba. Like, it's not, there's no ifs or buts about it. But if you have a communist country 90 miles off your border, you probably want to take care of that during the Cold War. You know what I mean? They're still there. We fucked them over a ton, so it doesn't really, they're not really a problem anymore, but that's your, that's his big flawed mistake. He made a big gamble by putting the nuke so close to the US that there was no way we weren't going to notice. There was no way. In doing so, caused us to react with an embargo, which is the right thing to do because the nuke, we hadn't thought that they were ready to fire yet. There is also a theory around that they were ready to fire at that moment, and Nikita Khrushchev didn't. I think that's kind of Russian propaganda saying that they're more peaceful than they are. I think if they were ready to fire, they would have threatened that immediately and been like, you guys should back off before we nuke your country. Now we have an even playing field. If you want these nukes gone, you have to take the nukes out of Turkey. It stands to reason that they didn't have them built yet. It stands to reason that the missiles were not ready. The silos were not ready for launch. If you play Black Ops 1, you know the truth is that they did launch, and we had our boys on the ground shoot that motherfucker down, and we avoided a big catastrophe. That's why that game's so good, because it plays with history so lovingly, just weaves in and out of real history, and goddamn, that game's great. But as I was saying, do I need anything from the floor? There's probably a secret room somewhere, but I can't be fucked. We had gotten out of that situation. Closest we have ever come to nuclear war. By the skin of our goddamn teeth, and mostly due to calmer heads prevailing. And it stands to reason that there are probably more of those instances throughout history, possibly recent history, where we could have been on the brink of nuclear war and cooler heads prevailed, because mutually assured destruction may not be the reality anymore, but I don't think any one person has the guts or the they don't want to push the button, is what I'm trying to say, which is a rational thought. I don't think anybody wants to. Truman is the one guy who did, and it haunted him. For the rest of his life, he carried that weight. He put on a good face because he was still the president, but that guy was devastated. I mean, you hear the things about him talking to Oppenheimer being like, what guilt does he have? I actually dropped the damn bomb, where he sounds like real bravado about it. But that guy, I mean, that's him he was still in the reality that nuclear war could happen at any moment. He was fighting the Korean War. He had people like... That's me trying to lighten up the mood, because I'm getting heated. I'm getting heated right now talking about this. Damn. I love talking about the nuclear war. He had people like fucking MacArthur saying he should be using nuclear bombs in Korea. There should be there's that famous thing. There should be a wall of radiation separating North and South Korea. A sea of radiation. I think that's what it says. Yeah, people like that in your ear, if you're Truman, and yet you stay away from it. You avoid nuclear war. I don't know if it was during Eisenhower or... do I not have 10 yet? Oh, I'm on 11 still. I gotta drink some of my potions, bro. Was that Eisenhower or was that Truman, where... not Japan. Japan never got a nuclear bomb. They're not allowed to. We took it. We took that right from them. Where Russia got the bomb. That was I forget who. And that's gonna drive me crazy. I think it was Truman. It might be Eisenhower though, who had to deal with Russia getting the bomb. I think it was Truman. I think it was like 1951 or 1949 even that Russia gets the bomb. Got your bomb. Uh-oh. That should keep me alive. Probably should have done the other one. Actually, that's real good right now. It's doing a good job. I got 34 turns of that? That's insane. Oh boy. Oh man, I had to lock in there for a second. We were talking about who might have gotten the bomb. It doesn't really matter, but pretty sure it was Truman who the Russians got the bomb with. So he was dealing with a lot, and he still didn't fucking use them. You know what I mean? There were people saying, Eisenhower was saying we should be bombing Russia in 1945. As soon as World War II is over, he says, all right, we need to bomb Russia right now. Right now is the time. They are going to be a problem. It was never what you learn in high school of like Russia was our friends is kind of bullshit. I mean, we needed them to win the war. There's no doubt about that. But also, also we were making a ton of fucking money off of them. This heals me, right? I'm gonna use that one. I need some life because this run has some potential right now. Russia was a threat right away. They just took over half of Europe immediately. Cold War started the day we won World War II. The day World War II was over, the Cold War immediately started. Anybody who says no to that notion is a commie. World War II started immediately. World War II started immediately. Cold War started immediately after World War II. Russia was immediately the number one enemy. We knew that from the beginning. We knew that during World War II. We knew that. We knew that when we were giving them weapons. We knew that those weapons were possibly going to be used on American soldiers in the near future. But we needed to win World War II. So we decided, hey, we're going to have to make a deal with the devil here. Man, what an interesting time period. If you don't think so, I come on. It's the best. World War II, Cold War. Yes, the best. Simply the best. Let's see if we can get out of this without being screwed. Let's do the armor. Let's all use the armor. Let's all use the armor. We're going to fucking die. And get ourselves... I have a health potion, but I'm going to use this instead. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. You sure know what's up, monkey. Man, I got heated. I got heated from that. That was a heated little conversation I was having with myself right there about the Cold War. Probably not what you're used to with me. You're used to me talking about penises and buttholes. But, you know, that's what... If you enjoyed that, let me know. Maybe I'll talk more about my little history niches. Also, just listen to Destroyer of the Worlds by Dan Carlin. It's like the best podcast ever. Hardcore history's the fucking best. And Destroyer of Worlds, I've listened to it like 8 times because it's so interesting. I'm gonna go with... I don't think this is a... I sure hope that wasn't the strength potion. What? Oh, how did I already have both? Damn. I'm fucked. I am fucked. Oh, that really sucks. I could have had 12 strength right there. And now I have no strength. I have 11 strength. I'm capped. I am hindered by 1 strength for the rest of this run. That is an insane fact. That almost makes me want to restart. It almost makes me want to restart. But whatever. You know, you take those gambles. I thought we're on 3rd floor. There's a good chance I don't have both. Whatever. Fuck it. I'm heated, guys. I am heated. I'm going autistically silent right now, thinking about what I want to do. I need a ring of might. If this has a chance to succeed, I need a ring of might. Let's see. Ooh, that's cool. Otherwise, I think this run might be forfeit. I can't believe I just threw out my potion of strength. That's fucking crazy. That shouldn't be allowed. You can't burn a upgrade. You shouldn't be able to fucking do that. I'm coping. I'm coping right now. I am in levels of cope you've never seen before. Right as of right now, I am coping. I'm pissed. I'm heated, brother. I am heated. Whatever. We'll keep on keeping on. You know what they say. Keep on trucking. I have a feeling there's a transmutation in this room. Usually they are in item rooms. You know what I mean? My wrist's starting to hurt from clicking so much. Let's do this. Who's this? Nope. Damn. I was so caught up in talking about Cold War and nuclear bombs. This all started with me talking about explosive brain syndrome, exploding head syndrome, and now we've come so far from that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna focus on survivability. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on survivability, so when we get to the goop, we can just go, oh, you think you're cool? Well, I'm gay. Oh, brother, man. Am I angry? This run is still in the basement, huh? Damn. Just checking in. You know, I've been busy. Okay, well that was the right move anyway. Those 3 are very good. Those 3 are quite good. I'm never getting to 12 strength. I am so miffed right now. I don't think if you come on. I guess if you blow up a upgrade potion, an upgrade scroll, it will be destroyed. So I guess it's not totally infallible. Man, I am dying here. option on my least likely to use. That's flock. Oh man, I am. Let's see, maybe this will fix up my run. Yes, it will. Mossy Clump is very good. Boring, but good. It makes it so more grassy and wet worlds spawn, which is very good. We're 40 minutes into this run and I'm still in the basement. Brother, get a move on. Stop talking about fucking World War II. I want to cook that up. Cook that meat. It's good meat. Nothing more in this floor. We're going to play it safe, and we're going to win. Okay, folks? We're going to play it safe, and we're going to win. Sheesh. We're going to beat the goop, and then we're going to get into the place I want to be. How do I still not have enough? Am I miffed? Boy, am I miffed. Whatever. Let's just keep moving on here. Let's just keep on keeping on. Yes. This is gonna make this fight so easy. I don't care what happens with this run. I think I'm gonna post this because I enjoyed that conversation and I want to know if you guys did too. I know I tend to ramble. I tend to wander. Yeah, black things. Damn, this music rocks, cocks. See, this is my first run, the one that was like good. I got this far. And I was fighting this blob here. Oh man, I'm already out of the shielding. It's only 5 turns. Okay. Okay. That's gonna be it, I think. Well, that 2 runs. I can't make it out of the goddamn sewers with the cleric. I used to think that this guy was the strongest character. I guess he's more of a ramp up. He gets really good. But goddamn. 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 Whatever. We're gonna cut it there, guys. Maybe I'll put these 2 videos together into one mega video of me struggling to get out of the basement. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, press like and subscribe, and let's have a happy day. All right? Goodbye.